I think we're confronted by an enormous mystery with megalithic sites all around the world, and we don't understand them properly. So I think the dating of quite a number of megalithic sites needs to be reconsidered. There are unexplained issues in our past, which are presently not explained by the system that teaches us about the past. I can't help thinking time capsule, that there was an intention to preserve this.
Japan is a megalithic culture. Many of the megaliths in Japan have never really been properly studied. This doesn't happen naturally. This is a man-made structure. Unless there's any doubt that it's man-made, let's get up close and look at it. It's made of individual blocks of stone. Having gone to all the work of creating huge megaliths like this, they wouldn't have wasted them.
Imagine standing before a vast network of subterranean caverns, extending thousands of square meters deep into the earth, carved from the unique volcanic tuff known as Oya stone. When these caverns at the Oya stone quarry in Utsunomiya were first created, it seemed nearly impossible for humans of that era to shape such an immense and complex structure, yet somehow they did, with nothing more than rudimentary tools and sheer human effort.
I want to know what else is going to be found that hasn't been investigated yet at all. We're just touching the edge of a huge mystery.
Did this really happen? Or was there more at play here than meets the eye? Fast forward to today, and despite our advanced technology and engineering prowess, replicating such a feat remains a formidable challenge. This marvel of both natural formation and human endeavor invites us to explore its depths, uncovering the secrets held within its echoing chambers and imposing walls.
I think we're confronted by an enormous mystery with megalithic sites all around the world, and we don't understand them properly.
The Oya stone quarry, with its deep historical roots in Japan's architectural landscape, offers a fascinating glimpse into the evolution from localized resource extraction to significant industrial use. The exact discovery date of the quarry isn't well documented, but evidence suggests that small-scale extraction of Oya stone began around the Heian period.
I think the dating of quite a number of megalithic sites needs to be reconsidered.
It quickly became popular for its unique properties, particularly its ease of carving when freshly quarried, which made it ideal for constructing religious structures like temples and shrines, as well as for creating detailed statues for these sites. As we move into the Edo period, the role of Oya stone expanded dramatically. This was a time of relative peace under the Tokugawa shogunate, marked by urbanization and the burgeoning need for more durable building materials. Oya stone, known for its enhanced fire resistance, became a critical resource in constructing robust fire-resistant walls, particularly in Edo, modern-day Tokyo, which was prone to frequent fires.
Wildfires are what you expect when you have a bit of a comet air bursting up above you.
The quarry's activities intensified with technological advancements in mining, such as the introduction of better chiseling tools and more systematic methods for removing large stone blocks. The expansion of cities during this period necessitated large quantities of durable materials, and Oya stone was extensively used not just for building walls, but also for bridges and other infrastructure projects that required materials that could withstand both the elements and the threat of fire. As demand surged, the shogunate implemented stricter regulations to manage the quarry operations effectively, ensuring the extraction rates were sustainable and that the stone remained available for future generations. When we compare Oya stone with European limestone, which was used for similar purposes, we notice both materials share the property of hardening over time, which is ideal for constructions meant to endure. However, while limestone in Europe was often chosen for both its practical and aesthetic qualities, Oya stone's use in Japan was deeply intertwined with the country's cultural and religious practices, reflecting a unique blend of utilitarian and spiritual values. This distinction highlights not only the functional importance of Oya stone, but also its role in shaping the cultural heritage of Japan. The Oya stone quarry is celebrated for its production of Oya stone, a unique type of green, tough volcanic rock. Known for its distinctive qualities, this stone has been a cornerstone in Japanese architecture and art for centuries. Let's dive deep into its rich historical tapestry and uncover some fascinating details along with a compelling theory. Tracing back to around 800 AD during the early Heian period, The operations at the Oya Stone Quarry began in an era marked by the consolidation of power in the Japanese imperial court and a cultural boom influenced heavily by the Chinese Tang dynasty aesthetics. Initially, Oya stone was primarily used for constructing the foundations and lower structures of buildings in local villages, largely because of its accessibility and the ease with which it could be carved when freshly quarried. What makes Oya stone particularly intriguing is its unique physical property. It is relatively soft when first quarried, but hardens upon exposure to air. This feature allowed ancient builders to initially carve it with ease, and as it hardened, it would transform into a durable structural element. Not only did its warm beige to light grey hues and porous texture enhance the natural aesthetics of traditional Japanese buildings, but it also provided excellent insulation properties. As the Heian period progressed, the cultural center of Japan shifted to Kyoto, increasing the architectural demand for Oya stone, possibly spurred by its fire-resistant properties, an essential feature in an era prone to wooden structure fires. By the late Heian period, the stone's reach extended beyond local regions, finding its way into more significant and prestigious construction projects across Japan, such as temples, shrines, and statues.
I can't help thinking time capsule, that there was an intention to preserve this.
Ancient texts often highlight its use in substantial state-sponsored construction projects, suggesting a growing importance in the architectural landscape of the time. The rising demand for Oya stone led to a significant expansion of the quarry operations. Quarrying techniques evolved from simple manual methods to more organized mining activities involving larger labor forces. This expansion not only catered to the increasing architectural demands, but also became a focal point for local economic development, providing numerous jobs and contributing to the growth of surrounding communities. An intriguing theory about the Oya stone quarry is that it was discovered and initially developed under the auspices of the imperial family of Japan. This theory suggests that the imperial family might have used the quarry to demonstrate their divine right to rule by constructing temples and palaces with this unique stone.
Ancient cultures all around the world preserved a memory of a high civilization.
The frequent use of Oya stone in imperial and noble projects during the Heian period supports this theory. The distinctiveness of the stone and the grandeur it imparted to buildings would have symbolized the celestial and exalted status of the emperor, aligning perfectly with the imperial ambitions of the time. This fascinating hypothesis adds an additional layer of historical and cultural significance to the already rich narrative of the Oya stone quarry. Nestled in Utsunomiya, Tochigi Prefecture, the Oya stone quarry offers more than just a peek into the world of mining. It presents a fascinating interplay of geology, history, and acoustics. Let's delve into the intriguing details of its underground caverns, their extensive history, and unique characteristics. Spanning an impressive 20,000 square meters, these caverns form a vast subterranean network that has been shaped over centuries. In some areas, they plunge as deep as 60 meters, equivalent to a 20-story building. This vast and varied landscape not only offers a glimpse into the Earth's depths, but also tells the tale of its past through the very walls that form it. Etched with the marks of pickaxes and chisels, the cavern walls narrate the history of mining techniques that evolved through the ages. Occasionally, miners have left behind tools and artifacts, which have been preserved and are now part of the quarry's historical tapestry. The caverns also display an array of natural and man-made formations, from varied color strains and vein patterns to different mineral compositions, each adding a layer to the story of the region's geological history. Beyond their historical and visual appeal, these caverns are known for their exceptional acoustic properties. The porosity and density of the Oya stone allow for sound to be absorbed and dampened, creating an environment with minimal echo and clear sound quality. Drawing a comparison to the ancient underground cities of Cappadocia in Turkey, both carved directly into volcanic rock, highlights interesting contrasts. While Oya's caverns were primarily used industrially for mining, Cappadocia's were designed for habitation and protection, equipped with living quarters, churches, and even ventilation shafts. An intriguing theory about the Oya stone quarry suggests that its extensive network and depth could have offered strategic military advantages during historical conflicts. The caverns, with their complexity and depth, might have served as excellent hiding spots or secret passages, a theory supported by Japan's historical use of landscape features in military strategy. Moreover, the Oya stone quarry has caught the eye of the film and television industry due to its dramatic and otherworldly ambience. For instance, Martin Scorsese's Silence used the haunting backdrop of the caverns to portray the rugged landscapes of 17th century Japan, enhancing the grim atmosphere of the story. While not actually filmed at the quarry, the scenes within the fortress-like environments of Inception evoke a similar monumental scale and maze-like interiors that one can associate with the Oya stone quarry's vast network.
I think we're confronted by an enormous mystery with megalithic sites all around the world, and we don't understand them properly. The people who made it knew what they were doing. You don't move around 20-ton megaliths in high relief. You don't do that.
There's no way that's a first try.
No, there's no way that's a first try.
Yeah.
There's obviously a hidden background to that. So I think the dating of quite a number of megalithic sites needs to be reconsidered.
Korea, a land steeped in history and shrouded in mystery, holds a secret that has baffled archaeologists and historians for centuries. Scattered across its rugged landscape are thousands of megalithic structures known as dolmens, silent sentinels from a forgotten era. Were these massive stone structures merely tombs for the elite, as some scholars suggest? Or do they whisper of a time when giants roamed the earth, leaving their colossal mark on the very stones themselves? Let's explore the mysterious world of Korean dolmens, where myth and reality intertwine, and uncover the truth behind these ancient wonders.
I want to know what else is going to be found that hasn't been investigated yet at all. We're just touching the edge of a huge mystery.
The Korean dolmens, mysterious and monumental, have always held a place of reverence within local folklore. Ancient populations in Korea viewed these structures not only as significant landmarks, but also as sacred sites possibly built by giants or legendary heroes, as hinted in ancient myths. This deep-seated cultural recognition has meant that the discovery of dolmens by Koreans themselves is not documented as such. It is woven into the fabric of their history and mythology.
Ancient cultures all around the world preserved a memory of a high civilization, of prehistory.
Systematic documentation of these megalithic structures began during a tumultuous period in Korea's history, the Japanese occupation from 1910 to 1945. During this time, Japanese archaeologists, including notable researchers like Sekino Tadashi, embarked on the first formal studies of the dolmens. Their aim was part of a larger effort to catalogue and understand the peninsula's prehistoric landscape, which inadvertently involved imposing control over Korea's cultural heritage. These early 20th century surveys marked the first time the dolmens were mapped and described in detail, shifting their perception from elements of folklore to subjects of archaeological and historical importance. Post the Korean War, as South Korea focused on rebuilding its national identity, there was a resurgence of interest in preserving the country's rich cultural heritage. This renewed interest paved the way for more localized and intensive studies of the dolmens. By the late 20th century, Korean archaeologists had started employing modern techniques such as radiocarbon dating, detailed site excavations, and even advanced technologies like 3D scanning and GIS systems. These tools allowed for a more precise understanding of the dolmen's age, construction methods, and their original use, enriching the appreciation of these ancient structures.
This is not something that everybody knows. Carbon dating can only date organic material. It can't date stone.
The turn of the millennium brought international recognition to this fascinating aspect of Korean heritage when several dolmen sites were designated as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. This prestigious status underscores the significant archaeological value of the dolmens and highlights their importance in understanding the prehistoric era on the Korean peninsula.
Our understanding of prehistory must change.
This recognition not only boosts preservation efforts but also fosters global appreciation for Korea's ancient monumental wonders. Building on the historical significance of the Korean dolmens, let's delve into the remarkable engineering skills that these ancient societies showcased through their construction. The transportation and assembly of these massive stone structures present a fascinating study of prehistoric engineering. The stones used in the construction of dolmens were often colossal, sometimes weighing several tons. Moving such heavy stones over long distances was a formidable challenge that required ingenious solutions. It is believed that the ancient builders used logs as rollers under the stones, a technique known as log rolling. This method significantly reduced friction, enabling human or animal power to transport these massive stones efficiently. This technique bears a striking resemblance to those used for constructing Stonehenge in England and the Moai statues of Easter Island, where similar log-based systems were employed to maneuver large stones across rugged terrains. Upon reaching the construction site, the next hurdle was lifting and positioning these heavy stones accurately. Earth ramps made from piled soil and stones likely facilitated the elevation of these stones to their desired height. Alongside these ramps, levers and simple wooden frameworks would have been used to hoist the stones into position. The use of levers provided a mechanical advantage that allowed smaller groups to perform these monumental tasks, showcasing not only technical knowledge but also effective teamwork and resource management. The choice of stone was crucial for ensuring the durability and structural integrity of the dolmens. Granite, commonly used in these structures, was favored for its hardness and resistance to weathering, which speaks volumes about the ancient builders' understanding of material properties. The quarrying of these stones was a meticulous process that involved using harder stone tools, possibly made from basalt or even metal tools in later periods. The labor-intensive chipping away at rock beds to extract usable blocks required precision and planning. After quarrying, the stones were carefully shaped and smoothed to ensure a perfect fit in the construction. This involved not only large-scale shaping to create flat surfaces for the capstones, but also more detailed, finer work to guarantee the structural stability of the dolmen. The final smoothing of the stones might have been achieved through abrasion techniques, using sand or smaller stones to grind down the stone surfaces, ensuring that each piece would fit together seamlessly in the final structure. The strategic placement and precise alignment of these structures highlight a sophisticated knowledge of astronomy and engineering.
We think it makes more sense. Take the geology, take the astronomy. This monument has its origins 12,000 years ago.
The dolmens were not simply erected in random locations, but were carefully placed to align with specific astronomical events, such as the solstices. This alignment suggests that the dolmens served dual purposes, not only as tombs but also as astronomical observatories. The precision required for such alignment indicates that the builders possessed an advanced understanding of astronomy and geometry, which is quite remarkable for any prehistoric society. The installation process of the dolmens also reflects an in-depth understanding of structural stability. The foundation pits for the upright supporting stones were dug deep into the ground, ensuring a secure base capable of supporting the massive weight of the capstone. This indicates a grasp of soil mechanics that was well ahead of its time. Furthermore, the upright stones were often positioned at a slight inward angle, a strategic choice that enhanced the stability of the structure by evenly distributing the weight of the capstone and improving the overall durability of the dolmen. When we compare these construction techniques with those used in ancient Egypt, we find interesting parallels and contrasts. Like the builders of the Egyptian pyramids, the creators of the Korean dolmens utilized ramps and levers to move and position large stones. However, the purposes and accessibility of these structures were quite different. While the Egyptian pyramids were primarily built supposedly as tombs for the pharaohs and the elite, signifying a hierarchical society, the Korean dolmens were more universally used across different strata of society. This thoughtful approach to the construction and placement of dolmens not only ensured their longevity, but also imbued them with significant astronomical value, making them an integral part of Korea's historical landscape. The dolmen sites in Korea not only offer a window into the Neolithic and Bronze Age periods of the region, but also demonstrate the advanced prehistoric engineering skills and deep-seated cultural traditions of their builders. The impressive size and weight of the stones used in these structures speak volumes about the sophistication of ancient construction techniques, a sophistication paralleled by few other ancient structures worldwide. These stones can measure anywhere from 1 to 7 meters in length and often exceed a meter in thickness. The variation in size across different sites suggests a diversity in burial practices and social hierarchies. Moreover, some dolmens may have served purposes beyond burials, perhaps as markers of territorial boundaries or as sites for ritualistic activities. The logistical challenges of moving and positioning such massive stones were formidable. Transporting these immense weights from quarry sites to their final locations required not only significant physical effort, but also intricate planning and the cooperation of entire communities. When we compare these engineering feats with the megalithic temples of Malta, we see similarities and differences in construction techniques that reflect each culture's unique approach to megalithic structures. Both the Korean dolmens and the Maltese temples highlight an advanced understanding of construction techniques from similar eras. However, while Korean dolmens typically feature simpler structural designs with a focus on vertical and horizontal stone placement, the Maltese temples boast more complex architectural elements like intricate floor plans and decorative facades. This fascinating comparison underscores how different cultures adapted their megalithic construction techniques to fit their local traditions and available resources, creating enduring monuments that